Okay, part two, bitches. Here we go. So, me and my good sis guys, Mia, briefly discussed this situation last night, and I'm going to share with y'all some of the things that I showed her after I get this point out. She made a very good point and said something that I wanted to share with y'all. She said that white Republicans know that black men have the most access to black women, and that black women around other groups of people tend to be more guarded. Black men also have this desire for power at any cost. So for the white Republican, it's a no-brainer. Use the black men that have the most access to black women, and that black women historically have been the least likely to protect themselves from. We are the most likely to coddle and enable black men. We're the most likely to let black men get away with literal unaliving. Historically, black women, black queer people have done an amazing job pushing the black community forward in the face of white supremacy. But we, as a collective, will watch the same community burn at the hands of our sons, fathers, and brothers. And that in itself is being weaponized against us. And black women, I need y'all, especially in this moment right now, to pay attention. You think these same white people that hate us don't see us letting these black men get away with what they do to us? It would be stupid on their part if they didn't weaponize the black man against the black women, children, and everybody else in the community. You think these white people, even though y'all don't want them in our business, y'all say it's in-house stuff and they don't need to have an opinion, you don't think that they do have one? And you don't think that they have the political power to weaponize these black men against us and our community and throw us back to the slave plantation days? You don't? See, unlike them pale women who can only compare their oppression to fictional stories like The Handmaid's Tale, right? We actually do have a couple of situations that have happened to us as black and brown folks, which shows exactly what happens when women's voices are silenced and men are allowed to overrun us. Like, we have a couple of examples. Some are very, very recent. Yet black women are not watching the men the way they watch these white folks. And that in itself leaves a blind spot where our autonomy is in danger, sis. Mortal danger. And while these black men are acting as though they do not see any black people saying that anything negative about this Carlisha situation, you have black men with 1 million followers on Twitter who are conservative and anti-black, like this gentleman, Anthony Brian Logan, tweeting to his mostly large conservative white following that, quote, "What I learned from the Chicago restaurant shooting is that the black community at large does not care about the safety and well-being of black boys. They are to be used as personal security for mothers instead of being protected and raised as children should. Get out of the community, black men, as you can, and do not look back. SYSBM, which stands for Save Yourself, Black Men." Now, why would this black man, and no matter a coon or not, he still is a black man that we as black people, had we not known who he was, would allow for him to be in very close proximity to us. Why would this black man send this message to black men via a large white conservative audience? Why do y'all think that is? The only critique you will ever hear me give Black Lives Matter as an organization is that the black queer women that created it allowed for black men to become the center of the movement. Breonna Taylor never got the same level of attention from black men that black women, girls, gays, theys, and pretty much everyone around the world gave black men like George Floyd. But the reason why I won't hold them solely accountable for that is because the black community does that. We center black, cis, hetero men over everyone else in the community. It doesn't matter if that black cis hetero man is an abuser, a rapist, a pedo. We will still protect him. We don't care if he's taking people's lives. We will still protect him more than we'll protect his black victims. Black women, it's time to hold ourselves accountable because we are reaping what we sowed. We have lied and gassed black men up for centuries, letting them think that they are kings with no kingdoms, letting them think that they are the emperor when they are naked. And now we are dealing with the consequences of those actions. Instead of being honest with black men and requiring them to do better for not only themselves, but the community that they helped create, we have allowed them to tear it apart and then put it back together quietly behind their backs and then still let them get the credit for it. And now we have situations like Carlisha, where not only did the men involved not intervene to help her, they lied to the police about the circumstances so that she and her son would be charged and would go to jail when they knew that she was not to blame for it. These men have become spoiled, entitled brats, and they are in a community where they have no privilege except for harming everyone else beneath them. Situations like Carlisha are the tantrum. It's you're supposed to do what I told you to do, and if you're not going to do what I told you to do, I'm going to respond with violence. What other group of people has done that to black folks? Black women that are out here feeling more sorry for the man that lost his life than the woman that he tried to attack and could have easily taken her life as well. Yeah, y'all are not helping because that same type of man will look at you as the next viable target, and you're so blinded by your male identified views that you don't see it. I mean, can we talk about the fact that the 40,000 black girls and women that go missing in this country are not all missing because of white people, but because of black men as well? And y'all don't want to call that point out because you want to just act like the only issue that black women have is racism and not misogyny from our own sons. So black women, here's my advice. Don't leave your house without something that can't take a life this summer. Don't. These men are not angry because a random black dude died. They don't know that man. They could care less. These men are mad because that man was not allowed to cause harm and get away with it. And they're even more mad that a young black boy that had not been sucked up into their alt-right pipeline yet defended a black woman. Because that's always the reason they get mad. Megan Thee Stallion, Jada Pinkett. There are too many stories. Tina Turner. These men are not ever going to do anything about each other as a whole to where you are safe as a black woman, queer person, trans person in this country. Protect yourself. They will not. Good day.